Yeah, I guess on reflection, yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, when you're in the moment of the game, you're just doing what the team needs to win. But yeah, it's been a while since I've scored a century for New Zealand, and obviously having a serious shoulder injury and coming back in the England series and not performing how I would have liked. There was, maybe a few self-doubts creeping in, so it's really nice after a domestic summer here to start the series off so well, and I guess get a little bit of a monkey off my back with 100 and start the series off with a win.
How much doubt was there? Frank Cumming was a commentary and obviously knows you from the Sparks. He said at the start of the summer, there's perhaps a little bit of insecurity about your game. What have you think's gone into getting you to the point where you've been able to play and not program today?
Yeah, I'm looking back at that. We had a bit of a moment during the Sparks season. I'd come back from England and I'd put in a lot of work throughout the winter and was feeling really good and felt like my technique was in a really good position, but kept finding ways to get out, and then got back excited for some domestic cricket with the Sparks and an opportunity to get some big scores, and I got out, I think, 3 innings below 10, and we had a bit of a chat around what was going on in my mind, and I think I was just putting so much pressure on myself leading into a World Cup to get into some form, and that was holding me back. So I had to kind of let go of that, and with the help of him and the Sparks teammates, I managed to get a few runs, and once I started scoring them, I was just making sure that I made the most of the form and not wanting to give my wicket away.
And just lastly from me, how good is it to win the first match of a series and now head into the rest of it with that winning feeling and a little bit of confidence?
Yeah, it's huge for this group. We haven't always got off to the best starts in one-day series, and that 2020 win was really important for some momentum, but to come out and play the way we did today is massive for us in a 5-match series and with what we've got coming up this summer. So the group's growing in confidence and we're in a really good place, so it's exciting.
Cool, thank you.
All good.
Suzie Bates from ZB, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
The Indian bowlers seem to think that Albay's play was pretty important in your innings and in the whole match. Would you agree with that in terms of the impact that you had through that period?
Yeah, I think I talked to our bowlers and to Sophie around the links that I thought were most difficult to play, and I thought they banged the ball in a bit, and we were able to capitalise on some short stuff, and as soon as you got too short on that wicket, it just sat up and you could hit the ball square. So I felt like when their seamers were hitting the stumps, it was much more difficult. So yeah, I think it was important. Having played in these conditions throughout the summer and having an open wicket, we sort of knew that length would sit up. So as batters, I think we were ready to attack that length and then keep out their good balls.
New Zealand cricket fans are pretty used to seeing a Kerr on the wickets scoreboard, but it's Jess Kerr today with the 4. How good was she?
Yeah, she was brilliant, and she started down the other end into the wind today, so that was a different role for her, but yeah, to take wickets throughout the game, she's such a tough matchup to right-handers, and yeah, Amelia gets a lot of praise, but Jess Kerr is a very good cricketer and she's handy with the bat as well, which I'm sure we'll see at some stage.
And finally, pretty quick turnaround, back on a Tuesday, everybody in good health, and how are you feeling heading into that?
Yeah, everyone I think's pulled up well, and we've had experience of 5 one-days and 10 days in England, so we're all ready for that, and I think the more we can play as a group while we're winning, the better it is, and we know these conditions so well, so we've just got to keep making sure we improve.
Brilliant stuff. Good luck. Thanks.
Cheers.
Hi Suzie, this is Vinayak from India. Congratulations on your innings today. Great to watch. My question to you is about just the nature of the wicket at Queenstown. What is the secret to scoring runs in the sort of wicket that you have at that venue? In terms of looking for areas and running between the wickets and identifying those pockets that you spoke about in the mid-match. Could you just talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a really good batting wicket. There's not too many demons in it. I think if you can get through the power play when the ball swings and seams a little bit, you can really start to get the pace of the wicket. And yeah, I found with Amy and Mealy through that middle phase, it was just about hitting the pockets and hitting the gaps and almost, trying to score 2s, and if you get it really well, it goes for 4. But yeah, I felt we really gapped well today, and we were able to hit those pockets against the spinners and not have to look aerial too early in your innings, because I do think the ball can hold, so when you look over the top it can be hard.
So was that like a conscious effort to avoid dot balls in the innings in terms of looking to keep the strike? Because there was a phase where there were not boundaries scored, but you were still getting sixes.
Yeah, I don't think today we particularly focused on it. I just know as a batting group we've felt against spin through the middle order. We haven't been as good at that, so we've talked about sweeping, we've talked about accessing behind the wickets to make sure that we can get up and down the wicket and get off strike. And although we perhaps haven't done it in games, I thought in England we played the spinners really well. And that's something we've worked on as a group, and the sweep shot has really come into everyone's game, which makes playing spin so much easier and making them change their length. So it wasn't a conscious decision, I just think we've got more shots as a batting group.
Thank you.
Is that everyone? Oh.
Shruti? If no Shruti, Panema? If no Panema... Ah, there we go.
Hi Suzie, congratulations on a fantastic 100. You must, it's a great win, 275 proved plenty today, but you guys must be a little bit disappointed with how it went in the last 10 overs. So my question is, how do you address that as a batting unit? Because 300 plus is sort of becoming a normal.
Yeah, absolutely, and I guess when you're winning, reviews become a lot easier to critique, I guess, the team, and we'll look back on those last 15 overs. I think we were 3 down or something, and then we got bowled out, so that's definitely a room for improvement. And like I said, the fact that we're scoring 275 and there's room for improvement is an exciting thing, and we'll look at ways to finish the game better. But yeah, we were disappointed with the momentum we lost, I think, but then our bowlers came out and created momentum with the way they started in the power play.
Hi Suzie, well played today. Sneha here from India. My question really is a little bit of background into the last year. White Ferns haven't won a lot of games in the last year, but at the same time, this team is looking really high on confidence and seems to have leveled up in skill. Can you give us an idea of what work has been going on behind the scenes that we're seeing a new and improved New Zealand in this season?
Yeah, I think as a group we've always believed in the team we've had and the skills we have. We've had tough matchups throughout COVID with playing England and Australia, who are 2 of the best teams in the world, and we haven't come out on the winning side, but we think as a group we've been improving. So although people from the outside might not have seen that, I feel like we've been in a really good place and playing better cricket. But it is nice to get a win in the one-day format to start a series, because that hasn't always been the case. So yeah, within the group we're really confident. I think we've finally got all our players back fit and healthy leading into a World Cup, which is perfect timing for us.
Thank you. All the best for the next one.
Cheers.
Here Suzie, Kalyani from India. My question is, you did a commentary stint when you were away from the game. Francis McKay did a commentary stint when she was away from the game, and Katie Martin also. Do you think that when you are away from the game, commentary stint is a way to get back and score hundreds?
Yeah, I'll thank the Spark crew for making me feel at home and contributing to 100. But it was nice to stay close to the game and I guess be on the other side of cricket and gain a bit more perspective. So I think as a cricketer, when you do have time away, you realise that it is just a game and you're just really keen to get back out there and enjoy it. But I had a lot of fun with the Spark crew, so yeah, we'll thank them for teaching me how to score hundreds again.
Thank you so much and all the best.
No worries.
Hi Suzie, this is Ananya from India. Congrats on the win and on the 100. So one of the things that Craig Cummings said on commentary today was how you spent some time trying to find the old Suzie. And I just wanted to understand what that involved. Was it going back and watching old footage, talking to old coaches or teammates, or maybe just going back into the nets to explore your technique a little bit?
Yeah, I think there are maybe a few parts to it. There was a lot of technical work and making sure my head was still, so that was, I guess, one part of it. But I think it was just letting go of the expectations I was putting on myself, and that was at international level, at domestic level, and just, I guess, expecting too much and not just focusing on the process and trusting my game that it was enough, and not always searching for something new. Just backing what I had was good enough, and I think someone like Craig at domestic level really understood that and helped me just remember that. And then once you start scoring runs, it tends to flow a little bit easier and your mind's a lot clearer. So I guess that's where I'm at the moment. But cricket can be very fickle, so you've just got to keep sticking to the process regardless of the outcome.
Thanks and good series.
Thank you.
For building the India's innings again. What plans did you made as a bowling unit to break partnership, since it was very crucial?
Yeah, I think we've just got such an experienced group that have watched so much women's cricket, and even someone like Frankie McCarr on the sideline knows players ins and outs. Sophie and Amy have played so much cricket, so we just don't want to be surprised out there. And we thought it wasn't so much about the opposition today, it was about the conditions and making sure we hit the stumps and giving, I guess, no length and width, which we didn't do the entire game, to be fair. But I think on a wicket like that, you can't get too funky. It is just about building dot ball pressure by making it hard for every batter, regardless of who they are.
Hi Suzie, this is Bhavesh from India. We saw you bowl off spin a little bit during the Super Smash this year. Is this something that you're working on, and will we be seeing you bowl your arms for New Zealand as well?
I would absolutely love to, and coming back off spin was sort of what I could provide in the nets, and I managed to sneak one over in for the Otago Sparks. But my role is to open the batting and not bowl in this side, but to keep myself entertained in practice. I'm sure a few more offies will come out, and if Bob Carter sees them, maybe he'll give me a role, but I doubt it.
Thank you, and best wishes.
Thanks.